This is what we learned in week two's GoToMeeting. In fact, we learned quite a lot, and a lot of it's going to repeat itself in a lot of the videos. So I wanted to show what I ran into and how I changed it. We had two data sets and two essentially arrays. There's one, and here is the other array. So with two arrays, one, I used my wife, who she's living with now, me, my son, and my dog, and who she lived with growing up, her mom, dad, and her brothers. Well, how are we going to do that? First thing you have to do is build the window. Then you need to build a custom table header, because if you don't, you'll get a lot of overlapping that occurs. So the table header is pretty simple. Just create a view. There's your height, there's your color, and that's the end of that. But you got to put text in it, and this is the exact string text that we're putting in there. There's the font size and weight and the color. You add the table header, or you load the table header and add the header text. Now, when it comes to the table itself, create table view. P-height minus status bar can be found up here. We created a variable called p-height, and we created a variable called status bar, which was 20 pixels from the top. So here in the table, when it comes to the height, this made it really easy because you didn't have to put in a lot of code for each of the different tables. They just one on top of the other. And we also covered this, and it was covered not only in a video but also in the GoTo session, that there are table view styles for the iPhone alone. But if you just use this, you're going to get some overlapping. So that's why we created sections and rows and custom headers for the arrays, not for the header page. That's why they're nested. You can see how they're nested just a little bit further in. This is the first for loop. There's two loops. There's actually a for loop inside of a for loop. This is the first for loop, and it's essentially building a custom header of a height of 30 in its background color. The text, name to uppercase, that was the size, its weight, its color, and it was to be the left by 18 pixels. And then custom header, and make sure you add the CH text, because that's the text that's going to go into that custom header. Then a custom footer. This is actually going to be repeated twice for each footer. Same kind of item though. You create a view. It's called custom create a variable. Custom footer, create the view. This time it's 50 with the color. Then you create a label, and this one was exact text. It wasn't like up here where we said grab the name and make it all uppercase. This one's just going to be in lowercase. Actually, it's going to be, as you see it there, in font size 12, that color, to the left and just to the top before it clicks down. Custom footer add, make sure you add CF text, just like up here. Custom header add CH text. Okay, here you're adding CF text right in here. Now it comes to the section part of our lesson, and that is, it became real easy to just load these two, the header view and the footer view. One was custom header, one was custom footer, because we were creating a table view section. Now remember I said there was two loops. For the second loop, here is your second for loop, and it's that typical I equals 0, J equals the data. I changed it from N to name because I didn't quite understand what N was standing for, but when I put in name, it made a bit more sense. So as you reread this and play it again, instead of N, just the array N, I made the array name, and then I. I is kind of like as you're going down on the bullet points, a little bit further down, dot name. Has child is true. Section row add, you're adding the row. Then you push the sections, and the things to display is the table set data, the table sections, which you just built right here, and then the table and the window open. And this is what it looks like. My wife's family tree, who she lives with now, me, the dog, not including aunts and uncles, remember that's right here, and who she lived with growing up, of course her parents and her brothers.